Monday Night Live. What are we up to? 23. I think I say that every week. Hello everyone. A lot of guys here. Benny's here. Bob. There's heaps of people I've been watching. The Hunter Valley. Yeah, there's lots and lots of people here. Tamworth. Kerry's here. Reese, Daryl, Bob, Nathan. G'day guys. Welcome to Friday night 23, Monday Night Live 23. So tonight we've got a few bits and pieces going on tonight. We've got our giveaway tonight is a Garrett Gold Pen kit. So that's the deluxe one with the 4 pans in it. Let me put those 4 pans up here just to show you what we're talking about. They're the 4 pans in the kit, so fantastic little kit to get everyone going. And then for those who don't know who I am, I'm Ben from Gold Diggers, and we do this every Monday night. We answer all your questions. So we've got some internationals here. We've got some people from the UK, Liverpool and the UK, and New Zealand. And, well, Zach, I guess you're from overseas too, being from Tassie. So, welcome everyone. So we've got the Gold Pen kit giveaway tonight. Now that will go into our randomiser, so we'll give that away at the end of the show in about an hour's time. And that will just go to a person who randomly shares this post, this live stream. So, we'll pick that up in about an hour's time. So that's that. The good people, the really good people at Gold Rat have helped me out this week. In the mail, I received an old book called Divining for Gemstones. There's a stack of great information in that. I have there's 4 or 5 copies there. So if you're into divining and you still got questions about divining, I'll send them out. So if you make a comment here about divining, we won't get into divining too much tonight, but if you make a comment about divining, well, at the end of the show I'll send these out to a few people, sort of thing. I think I can get more copies of those, but there's 5 there, so we'll see how we go. Right. Right, who else is here? Yeah, Jamie mentioned her husband bought those pans. They're great pans. They're some of the best pans going around. Some people just use the metal pans and some of the cheaper Chinese pans. Like those pans are about $25, $30 each. They're amongst the best pans going around. So they're not cheap, sort of thing. So, but they're very, very good pans. So it's very hard to lose gold out of those. So we've got some big news. Everyone's been asking about it, and Warren and I have been putting our heads together about another detecting day out at Warwick. Now we think we've put something together, and we just need to firm a couple of things up in the next day or two, but it looks like the 3rd of June at Warwick, at the Fossicking area Jurakai State Forest. Warren and I will be there, and we'll have a whole day. We'll be there until about 1 or 2 o'clock out there. So if you want to come and meet us in person, you want some advice from us how to look for gold. We'll do some gold penning demonstrations. There is just so we're very, very excited about that we're doing that, and we're also trying to put together something for later on that we might head up to Claremont and have a bit of a look around there. But we'll see what's going on with that. We haven't firmed that up yet. So the detecting day will be 3rd of June at Warwick. It'll be proudly sponsored by Garrett. Garrett are going to put up some prizes for it. So big thank you to Garrett for jumping on board with that. We know we all use different machines, and any machine's welcome, but Garrett are definitely sponsoring the day. So, you know, there'll be some pans out there, there'll be all sorts of stuff out there. So, and we'll do a token hunt. Out there, so we'll put some coins around and see who wins the gets the most tokens, that sort of thing. So we should have a good day. For those people who went to the last one that was last year, it's a good day. So yeah. No, I don't. Last time, Nadia, g'day Nadia. Last time we went out there, we did a token hunt, and I had a whole stack of Russian coins that we put around. Nadia's just wanting to know if I want them back. I don't want the Russian coins back. We might have to. We might have to try different nationalities' coins. So, oh, in other great news, look at this. How flash is that? I've got a Gold Diggers Cup now. So, one of my mates who watched the show sent me this through the week. So, phenomenal. Look at that. I feel very flash with a Gold Diggers Cup. Look at that. So, so, yes. So, I think that's everything that we've got to cover. The Detecting Day, Divining for Gemstones, and the Pan Kit giveaway. Now, so, what we might do is, because Goldrat have been so, and Goldrat, of course, do the range of these little sluices. They're river sluices as well as, so they do these river sluices. Then they also do these really, really cool high bankers. And of course, when you look at those mats and sluices, they've got the that really cool dream mat in them. But, so they helped us out with these divining books. So, but I've also had a stack of questions in the last couple of weeks about that push box that I showed you that that Goldrat do. So this is this pushback box. So I've had stacks and stacks of questions because it's completely legal in most states. Yeah. So what I might just try and do here is, we don't know how this works. Sometimes we have some technical issues on this show, and it's more about the operator not doing the thing right. But let's just have a look here, and what we've got here. Hang on, we just need to. Wow. What's happening here? It's all happening. I don't know why we're showing this, but we've got a bit of video going here now. So, let me just bring along here. Sorry guys, so, I don't know why that's not working. But anyway, so we're not too far along. Actually, we'll just stop this. Something's not quite.
So here we're just having a look at the river system. And just seeing what the outside walls are and the centre line. See what these large cobbles are.
That and get rid of that completely. So we might come back to that video shortly, but that was the video of showing how that push box worked. So we'll see if we can get that video up and going here and playing right. But anyway, it was a river full of stirred up water. You were very correct. So, but we'll see if we can get that going just in a minute, because that's actually a good little episode of watching that push box work. Yes, I haven't talked about, now there was a lot of talk about last time we went out to Warwick about food. I haven't talked to Warren about food. I don't think it's practical for us to do food out there. We don't know how many, I don't know how many people we're going to get, but I don't know if it's going to be, it's not going to be practical for us to go out there and do food. I I did see a question here about Warren bringing pies. That might be a bit of an effort for Warren because we had 60 people out there last time. So I don't know how Warren and his little pie warner for the Land Rover would as go with 60 pies in it. But yeah, so right. Okay, so there's a stack of people here: Grant and Sandra and Shane and Greg and Simon. Thanks for sharing, guys. If you to win the prize, the Gold Pan kit tonight, just share this live stream. So I've got some interesting questions here that we picked up in the last couple of weeks that I didn't get to on the live stream. So we might just cover a little bit of that while we're here. I always get questions about will detectors pick up meteorites? And yes, they will. Most meteorites, 80% of meteorites, are very heavily metallic. So of course they will any metal detector will pick up the meteorite. The trick with it is, well, the trick with me, and I've got to talk to someone about this, but I've already approached someone who's a bit of a meteorite expert, we might see if we can talk to them. But my biggest problem with it is working out what's a meteorite and what's a hot rock. So, you know, that's my issue. So, yes, so we'll try and get that on. But yes, they will detect a meteorite, no trouble at all. There are a lot of metallic. All meteorites are a lot of metallics, and virtually any machine will pick them up because they're normally they can be quite large, they can be, you know, and they're quite heavily mineralised sort of thing. So, so that's a question I get. Meteorites is a big question I get all the time. Meteorites, which is pretty cool. It's a space rock, so yeah. So Andy asked Keith makes a good point. You can't get $500 for a hot rock, so that's a big difference between a hot rock and a meteorite. But so a hot rock, someone asked that. Andy asked that. So a hot rock is just a highly mineralised piece of rock, and normally the detectors will sound off on them. What you can do though with a hot rock is you can ground balance a hot rock out. So normally you can with a good quality machine you can ground balance a hot rock out. So yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of questions about. So for instance, there was a question that just flicked by. I don't know whether it's still there. Whether a GoFind will find gold. I've got questions from last week here about old detectors. Will they find gold? How metal detectors work is all metal detectors will find all different sorts of metal. What a lot of the cheaper machines and what a lot of the older machines struggle with is the really heavily mineralised ground out in the goldfields or the heavily mineralised ground in the wet sand on the beach. And it's not so much the wet sand, it's the actual salt water that they struggle with. So that's what they will find gold. ACE 200s, GoFinds, I'm sure have found gold. I've seen videos of people finding gold with GoFinds and ACEs. So yes, so yeah, it'll find it. It's just what happens is because you can't ground balance them, because you can't tune the ground out, you got to turn your sensitivity back, and you're losing your depth. You go from this deep on a coin up to this deep because you don't want to hear the mineralised ground. So that's the downside, but yes. Another good trick with hot rocks is that they're normally magnetic. So you run a magnet over them, pulls them out. Right, so heads up AT Max Israel. I hope you're enjoying that AT Max. It's a good machine. No, there's still talk about the banning on high bankers. We talk about high bankers, stacks of questions about high bankers, particularly with Goldrat being a big part of the show and doing some sponsorship with us. So legally, you can't use high bankers in Queensland. New South Wales have just banned high bankers. Victoria, you're still allowed to use them, I believe. So there's a lot of problems with high bankers. So there's a lot of problems with high bankers. So, and it's the pump that's the issue more than anything. Yeah, river sluices are pretty good anywhere. I think you can run a high banker in WA, but you don't have a lot of water there. So, yes, so that's fine. So we've just got Ashley's here, Victoria Panning and Detecting Group. I think that's a Facebook group. Thanks for bringing that up, Ashley. Daryl, so the other thing we've got to bring up, there's a stack of clubs going around. There's one in the central Queensland that's quite good. There's a Brisbane Metal Detecting Club. There's a lot of Facebook, like a lot of these clubs and forums have gone to Facebook. So they're all very Facebook orientated now, and gone are the days where people wouldn't meet up from Facebook. A lot of people are meeting up through Facebook. So it's, you know, Facebook seems to be the done thing where you can just go and meet up with people and go detecting. You know, there's good groups around everywhere you go. There's good groups. I see one for Western New South Wales that was kicking around where, you know, they meet up and go to different old town sites and what have you. So fantastic, fantastic Facebook groups. Some of the clubs, there's still some very good clubs around. There's still, yeah, some clubs are fantastic, some clubs are horrible, but they're still around. So you just need to go and have a crack at them, sort of thing. So. Someone asked, what's a high banker? That's a high banker. Let me get out of the road here. So basically what a high banker is it's got heavy, you pump water into the top here, right, with a very big pump, normally 14,000 litres or more. Yeah, and you shovel the dirt in the top and it runs down off the edge here, down into the bottom layer where it separates the gold out. So that's a high banker. So, there's the answer to that question. So, yes. So there's a stack of good clubs. They're getting less and less, those crappy clubs. But so there's good clubs, Facebook groups. There's stacks of places where you can meet up with people. Quite often you see someone detecting, go and have a chat to them. Most detectorists are quite nice people and quite friendly, so do that. Yes, so so basically that's a river sluice. They're river sluices, right? So you put them in the river and let the water flow over the top of them, okay? So that is basically the bottom of a high banker. It's just the high banker, you're doing it up on the dry land. So yes, yeah. So that's what's happening. And don't forget our giveaway. Just share it to win the gold pen kit tonight. So someone asked where you could get a gold pen kit in Ipswich, but you can buy the gold pen kits online. eBay's probably as cheap as any place to get them. The Gold Diggers website, which I'll drop in the comment sections after the show. But I don't think there's anywhere. Some of the camping shops may have cheaper ones for Ipswich, but I don't think there's any Garrett dealers as such out at Ipswich, sort of thing. So. I'd probably be the closest one to that by a fair stretch of the imagination, I would think. So, right, so, okay, we're just, so, the other questions I get a lot of questions about specific machines, and you know, I get a lot of questions about is like Equinox 800 good? Is the 705 a good machine? Is the AT Max a good machine? You know, what's the Ace 200 like? Equinox. So I've got a lot of questions about that. And realistically, a lot of the machines are very, like if you buy from a good brand, Garrett, Minelab, XP Deus, Bounty Hunter, Technetics, Whites, if you're buying a good branded machine, the machine's probably not going to be horrible. And you could probably, you know, $1,000 machine from one brand is probably very similar performance-wise, not necessarily in all the controls and what it does, all the tricky stuff, but performance-wise, the $1,000 machines are probably very, very similar. Now, the other thing is, there was a lot of questions about old machines, what to do with old machines. If you know a machine, really well, like the back of your hand, you will find more stuff. Like, it's 20% of detecting for gold, especially, and detecting for anything really, is the machine you're using. 80% is operator, the bloke on the end of the machine or the lady on the end of the machine. So that's what I sort of think about machines. Like someone who's really, really good with an Xterra 705 will smash someone who's just picked up a 4500 out in the goldfields, because they don't know them. They don't know the machine. Like, you know, you need to know the machine back to front. So, right. Okay, so what do we think about starting off with second-hand machines? Yeah, it's a bit of a hit and miss thing. It's nice to get something with a remaining warranty on it. So, that's the thing. And if you're buying a second-hand machine, you don't tend to get a lot of the backup support with it. So for instance, when we sell a machine, you get a Daylight Helpline number where you can just pick up the phone and ring me. And if it's daylight, I'll answer the phone. So, so you don't get a lot of that stuff. Like a lot of the gold machines, or all the gold machines we sell, I send out my waypoints. I've got 12,000 waypoints on a USB stick, goes out with all the machines. So, you know, there's all that sort of added stuff you don't get with, you don't get buying secondhand, but, you know, it's a cheap way, if it's a cheap way to get into the hobby, you know, yeah, so. What's the best gold? Greg asked a question here, it's a question I get all the time. What's the best gold detector for Australian conditions? So, there's a lot of different answers to that. So, for instance, if you were to go to WA and do the Salt Lakes, like, is probably a different best machine for gold than what it would be for doing under the power lines in WA. Or it'll be a different machine again. Like, I don't know what's going on over in WA, and I need to get someone on, but the AT Max seems to be getting a lot of gold out of the salt pans over there. And I don't know why. I need to get to the bottom of that, but it seems to be getting huge amounts of gold out of there, the AT Max. Not the ATX, the AT Max. So, yeah, so, like, you know, the best machine is the one you've got and the one you're good at, sort of thing. So gold detecting machines, GPZ 7000, GPX 5000, GPX 4500, SDC, they're the Minelab ones. Garrett ATX, Whites do, what's the Whites one? Someone here will tell me. So all those pulse induction machines, someone talked about a, what was that? That was a GTI 2500. The GTI 2500 is actually a VLF machine, not a pulse induction machine. So there's stacks and stacks of stuff there. Like, then you talk, that's just the pulse machines, right? So then you talk about VLF machines, and VLF machines can be the best machine looking for gold depending on the situation. Like if you were in an old campsite where there's gold going through it and it's full of boot nails, right? Geez, give me an XP Deus or a you know, an Equinox or a AT Max any day of the week over a 7000, because the 7000 you've got to dig every target. So give me one of those VLF machines with lots of yeah, over that, no problem at all. Right, so is that a Yao behind me? Quite possibly. Maybe I've captured one. That's out at, it's a bit of bushland out at Warwick there at the Foster King areas in Queensland. So Daryl asked, where's my Minelab shirt badge? I haven't got one. They haven't sent me one. So I've only got the Garrett ones on here. I haven't even got an XP Deus on here. This is the important one here. So PI machines tend to be the go-to machine for gold detecting. Andy asked a good thing. And VLF machines are better for general relic hunting and that sort of thing. And the way I explain it is this: a VLF machine will tell you what the target is before you dig it up, or give you a good idea what the target is before you dig it up. The pulse induction machines, the PI machines, won't do that. They don't tell you what the target is. You've got to dig every hole. But they will go dramatically deeper on a target compared to a VLF machine. And when we're talking dramatically deeper, like if you're looking at, we're talking about gold nuggets here, right? So we might be talking about 0.1 of a gram of gold nuggets. You might find it with a good quality VLF machine, you might find it an inch under the ground. With a pulse induction machine, you might find it 3 inches under the ground. So that's what we're talking about, deep. So, you know, you take a pulse induction machine that doesn't tell you what the target is before you dig it up into a really trashy area full of boot nails and can tops and what have you, and you try and find the gold mixed in amongst it, you're no chance. You take a VLF machine in there, you can pick around it and find the gold. So it really is the right machine for the right job. So yeah, so the discrimination doesn't work as well on a pulse induction machine, and that's quite it's quite complicated to explain, but I don't even know whether I should try. So a VLF machine, when you discriminate stuff out, you're discriminating out the iron first, right? With a pulse induction machine, you come from the other way. The first thing you discriminate out is the good targets up the high end. So you can't, it doesn't work as well. So, right, so, right, we've got stacks of questions here. Beach, well, there's a beach scoop question. Plastic beach scoop versus metal ones. I use a long handled metal one. Some people like to get down and use their plastic. So that's a personal choice thing. I don't like the bending down, so the metal scoop's good with the big long handle on it. Right. Stephen asked, is there meteorites at Warwick? I'm sure there is. Right, so anyway, let's have a look here. We've got, so while we're on the beach subject, do you need a license for detecting on the beach? No, you don't. So you don't need a license. You only need, certainly in Queensland, you don't need a license for looking for relics in the parks or jewellery on the beach or any of that sort of thing. Some councils will clamp down on it and say no metal detecting, but not real. There's not many of them, so we can just ignore them for the time being. I actually had to go and have a look at the Fossicking Act in Queensland, and this may differ from different states today, and it says in there you don't need a Fossicking licence if you're out in a park looking for coins and you come across a golden nugget. You don't. It's a chance find. You're in the pursuit of something else. You don't need a Fossicking licence for that. But they're normally very cheap, so I suggest to people it's probably not a bad idea to have them. So, okay, so that's the licensing. Now you need to check each state because it's a state law and it all varies. So, So Bianca asked a good question. She's got to go find 60, looking for a more serious machine. What would you look at? Well, since you're used to the mine labs, I would go probably, like I want to say Xterra 705, but I think you're probably better off with Equinox 600 or 800 because the 705 is... the 705, I believe, is on its way out, being replaced by the Equinox. So I would look at 600 or a Equinox 600 or 800. So, right. So yes, it is $52. Oh, do I look lost, Tony? Sorry, Warren's not here tonight. Craig's not here tonight. Yes, so it's just me tonight, and of course, heaps of nice people like you guys. So, so really good to be here. We are going to put the show on the road. So when we do our Warwick trip, I will probably try and do a Monday Night Live from Warwick, and same up at Claremont. So we're going to see if we can take it on the road and see how that goes. We're going to have a lot more guests on. We're looking for some more guests to come on the show. So if you know anyone interesting who would like to come on the show, doesn't have to be here in Brisbane. It can be anywhere across the globe. Yes. So yes. So this is a question that doesn't come up that often, but it's very interesting. So Kyla asked a question: does a low battery affect the detector's performance? So years ago, I remember my first machine. You'd get peak performance, and then as the battery went flat, your performance would do this. So every hour, you'd duck back to the car, put new batteries in it, so you got peak performance for as long as possible. Now they've got a like a voltage regulator on them. So they'll give you 100%, then dead flat. So if it's a modern machine, you get 100% and then dead flat. If it's an old machine, you will get that drop off in power. So, I get a lot of questions about. I get a lot of questions about where to find gold. I get a lot of questions here. So I just saw North Brisbane. The dark side from Victoria, Mike. I might have to look at the dark side. If you know the dark side, get them to contact me, and we'll see what's going on there. So yeah, good spots. So if you're on the coast, right, head west, unless you're on the west. If you're in Western Australia, head east. So when you look at the gold maps, I haven't got them up here. I don't think I can't get to them. But if you look at the gold maps, basically from Queensland, from the far north, the Cape York, right? Rushworth's another one, Simon. If you look at the gold-bearing areas, some of the geo maps, it goes all the way down the Queensland coast, all the way down the New South Wales coast, all the way around the Victoria maps, right into the Golden Triangle. There's a big continuous run of it all the way up the coast, right? And goes a lot of and goes a lot further and a long way west, right? So yes, there is gold all the way along the east coast. You look at South Australia across the bottom, WA, of course, we know, you know, there's a lot of gold in WA. So yes, so there is good spots everywhere. Warren's just been to Tasmania, gave me a bit of a heads up. Stacks and stacks of gold in Tasmania. The problem is getting access to the country. A lot of it's under lease, so that's a big spot. You know, Ballina here, people are asking me, Ballina, go west to Ballina. There is just goldfields everywhere there. Yep, so there is stacks and stacks of goldfields all the way up the coast. So people will, and people go, oh no, that'll be worked out. There'll be nothing left there. Like, you look at a place like, someone just mentioned Gympie, right? Oh, there'll be nothing left there. It's been worked for, a lot of years. And it's still there. Still people coming out of gold, there's still gold coming out of there. You look at Warwick, people have been detecting at Warwick since 1865. They've been looking for gold out there. They're very early detectors. But there's gold coming out of there still to this day. You can go out there, and it's been worked for more than 100 years. You go out there today and you walk up to virtually anywhere on that fossicking area, which is 14,000 hectares, and you could pan gold in just about anywhere on that fossicking area. So forget about places being flogged out. Nothing's ever flogged out. Right, so what else have we got here? Yes, the date is confirmed for the detecting way, Michael, 3rd of June. We'll all sit down. It'll be nice, a bit cooler out there this time around. We'll all sit down and have a bit of a chat. And if you've got any questions, come and check me out, and we'll answer all your questions and help you out and show you a bit of gold panning. And yes, so we're just waiting to confirm the Claremont day. So, and that's, of course, that detecting day is sponsored by Garrett. So there'll be some great Garrett prizes there. And speaking of prizes, let's just do this. So tonight's giveaway is a gold pen kit. Here it is here. So in about 20 minutes, wow, tonight's gone quick. So in about 20 minutes time, we'll draw this. We've got a random, the randomizer. It's made out of old plane parts out of Warren's garage, Warren from NQ Explorers. All you need to do is share this post, this live stream while it's going on, and you'll go in the draw for that. Also, what I need to do too is I need to mention NQ Explorers. We've got a big push on for NQ Explorers to get them to 10,000 likes on their YouTube channel. So jump over. Warren from NQ Explorers does some phenomenal videos, and you know, it's a very, very good YouTube channel. So make sure you go over and subscribe to that, subscribe to his channel, because it's well worth it. So, right, so, Okay, so what else have we got here? I've got 1,000 questions here. Bianca, you enter to win this Galpan kit by just sharing this on your Facebook page. So, right. Right, what else have we got here? We'll look here. Wim asks if I've ever been to Lankuri Gold Bash. I haven't. We would have been there. I would have been there this year, except some stuff happened. So we're setting ourselves to take this show on the road. So wherever we go, we can take this up. So I need to. I was actually looking at where we might be going in the next little while, but. You know, whether we get up to the Gem Fest in Anarchy or the Claremont Gold and Coal Festival in Claremont, of course, and just have to see where we get to. This show's sort of evolving. It started off, I think the first episode's still up. This started with me sitting on the back deck one night going, oh, I wonder whether anyone would be interested in having a chat, and that's how it started. So, yes, so it's sort of evolved and it continues to evolve, and yeah. So if we, so you know, we might end up on the road with this, and every Monday night you'll see us somewhere different, or yeah. So, yep. Okay, so. Yeah, I've never been to Lankuri. I hear it's really good sort of thing. So I'm excited to go that. And then there's a couple of those sort of things around. And there's talk of maybe something happening in Queensland. So we'll see how that goes. We need something up in Queensland. There's not much that happens for that. Up here in Queensland, so yes. So what's that? Someone called me a gold guru. Now I don't know about that. I have found a little bit of gold, but I'm no guru. There's some people out there that are twice as good as me. Let me tell you, 10 times as good as me. So, Annette's got a problem with the Minelab coils breaking. Where are they breaking, Annette? Are they breaking on the joiner bit at the top of the coil? That's normally where they go. So the trip to Warwick, so it'll kick off from about 8 o'clock. I'll duck out there. I'll probably be out there a fraction earlier, put some gazebos up, give us some shade. Yeah, so it's the 3rd of June. It's probably 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll be there. So it's in the Fosking area at Jurakai is normally where we go. We normally go to the Puddler, and we mark the route into the place with Eureka flags. We'll put Eureka flags on the posts and all the way down so they can find us quite easily. We like marking things with Eureka flags. So. Thanks, Mick from Wangaratta. Gympie trip, maybe. Everyone wants me to go everywhere, so. Okay, so. No, Hayden asked, do you need to have a detector when you come to work? No, but it's a lot more fun. My suggestion would be is to get yourself a gold. If you don't have a detector and not ready for a detector, get yourself a gold pan, because quite often, hopefully there'll be some water out there. If not, we'll be doing some dry panning. But there's a lot of fine gold out at Gympie. So something like that gold pan kit there, about $95 for the gold pan kit that we're giving away tonight. So yeah, so that's what I would suggest. It'll be a bit more fun rather than watching everyone. You know, you might want to come and just have a chat to us, sort of thing. So that's fine too. But yeah, so That's fine. Oh, Blake. That's very interesting, Blake. No gold at Jurakai yet, but got your first penny out there, an 1898 penny. That's a nice find, Blake. Yes. So that's a really nice find out there at Warwick. That'd be interesting to see where that came out of, because I know there's a couple of old townships up there that I'm tracing down. We think we might have found the Talgai Township, well, the Talgai Township, or what was, you know, the camp up there, the top of, yeah. So we think we might have found that, but that needs some investigating. So, right, what time is it? So 15 minutes. We're going to draw the prize. So for the gold pan kit. So all you need to do is share this. For those that don't know, I'm Ben from Gold Diggers. We do this every Monday night. We chat about detecting, and sometimes we chat about, like last week we chatted about, was it last week or the week before? We chatted about pies. So yes, you know, people will learn some interesting thing about pies as well if you watch this show. So, yes. So all these guys, all these people that I might be making a rod from the back. All these questions about spots around Newcastle, Bateman's Bay, all these. There's a stack of stuff that I've just missed on stuff, like Rutherglen, all those sort of things. If you send the Facebook page a message with that information, through the week, I can actually look it up and see if I can give you some, send you some like the GPS coordinates and some bits and pieces. I can do some research on it. Some of these areas I don't really know that well, so I have to go and do a bit of research. So, like Vince asked about Midwest WA region, you know, I don't know. I'd have to go and have a look for a bit more detail. So, yes. So, right. So, right. Okay. Someone mentioned here about taking their. Can't wait to take the young bloke out to pan. Melissa, that's a great thing. So Melissa, what we'll do, Melissa, just off the top of my head there, can you message me? I've got your name written down here. I'll send your young bloke his first gold pan at the end of the show. I like to encourage that young blokes to go out panning, so I'll send you one out tomorrow. Just a little gold pan for him to get going. So that's good. So Gold Monster 1000, good machine from all reports. I haven't used one, but yeah. So good machine, VLF machine. Like all the VLF machines will be slightly noisy in the gold fields because of the highly mineralised ground. So yeah, but they work fine out in the gold field sort of thing. So, Peter, you're not young enough, and that's a good-looking fish, Peter. Yes, you've got a decent fish. So, yes. So, right. So now also Claremont. I don't know whether people have been keeping up with what's been going on at Claremont, but Easter time they sent, at Easter time they opened up the 2 new GPAs up there, general permission areas. They're basically glorified fossicking areas. Now, the gold, now I don't know how true this is, but the gold that's coming out of there at the moment is just amazing. I don't know whether everyone sees it or in the Facebook groups and what have you, but my God, it's a proper gold rush up there. There is ounces and ounces of gold coming out of there. So, yeah, it's just phenomenal. So, yeah, so if you're near Claremont and can go and spend a little bit of time there, bloody hell, get up there and have a good crack at that. So, yes, so, okay. Pointers do you have for listing VLF machine? So VLF machines out in the goldfields. Let's talk about VLF out in the goldfields for a minute. So, VLF machines, the target ID is like a conductivity measure, right? So stuff with a low conductivity, like rusty iron, will give you a low number. Stuff with high conductivity, like bronze and silver, will give you a high conductivity. Gold's actually a mid-conductivity, so it'll give you a middle number. But it also counts how big the target is. So if you think about something that's huge, like a piece of metal that size, right? It will have a high conductivity because there's a lot of metal. If you think about a little tiny piece of, I can't show you a little tiny thing, but if it was a little tiny thing, it would have low conductivity because there's not much metal in it. So when you're talking about little gold nuggets out in the gold fields, and we're talking, I haven't got anything, I haven't got one here. Where are they? If you're talking about really, really fine pieces of gold, like that sort of size, that's a bit of ironstone, but that sort of size, out in the gold fields, that will give you a low conductivity. That will even, in the ground, that will even give you a 00 number, right? Almost tells you there's a target there, but can't give you a conductivity reading on it. They're the targets you need to dig because that's where the small gold sits. So, out in the gold fields, I always say, if you get a repeatable signal in two directions, you've got to approach it from 90 degrees both directions. If you get a repeatable signal in both directions, dig the target. Because that small gold will give you a mineral, like a bit of ground noise sort of sound. So, yes. So you really need to be digging every target that's repeatable out in the goldfields. Yep, and you'll dig 1,000 targets that are rubbish, but you will come across a patch of gold that is just out of the blue. You'll just hit a patch of gold, and there'll be 10 pieces in that patch. So, yeah. So, yeah. See, Mark's got a gold monster. 1000, great rally car hunting and going out the gold. You found much gold with it, Mark? Video tutorial for gold panning. Warren from NQ Explorers does a gold panning video. Very, very good gold panning video, and we want to get as many subscribers as possible to his channel, so it's a good excuse to go over there, watch that gold panning video, and then subscribe to his channel. So, yes. 7 bits is a patch. You're correct, Trevor. I reckon 2 bits is a patch, Trevor. It might be a small patch, but it's still a patch. So, yeah. Anyway, so we have 7 minutes left to share our the live stream tonight. To go the chance to win the gold pan kit. The gold pan kit we're giving away comes with the 3 pans and a sieve. It also comes with like tweezers and a magnifying glass and a book and a DVD and a snuffer bottle. So you'll be all set up. So. Gold pans vary. The gold pan kits, there's 2 kits. There's a 3-pan kit, 2-pan kit and a sieve for 65 bucks. This kit's $95. But pans by themselves are like 25 bucks for really good ones, 10 bucks for, you know, knockoff ones. You're better off getting a good one. It'll last you forever. You know, yeah. What do I think of Equinox? I think it's a good machine. You you know, Minelab, Garrett, XP don't make too many terrible machines. Yeah, so the Equinox is a good machine, getting a lot of good reports from it, so yeah. Ricky, the only problem with Warren's NQ Explorers channel is I didn't leave the TV for 3 days. We've all been down that rabbit hole, Ricky. You're not the only one who finds something on YouTube and binge watches that. So, CQ Detectorist, we mentioned you earlier, Tony. I don't know whether you were there. Yes, they're a good Central Queensland metal detecting club. They're phenomenal. So, yeah, Technetics G2. I've used a G2 and they're a good machine, you know. So, Ray Smith. Dishwashing liquid when panning. So, sometimes gold can be that fine that it will float on the water. I would assume, I've never done it myself, but I would assume the dishwashing liquid is it to break the surface tension of the water so the light flakes that are floating will fall to the bottom. So that's the go with dishwashing liquid and panning. What do I use? What I use, I've got, I use Goldrat. I've got a Goldrat high banker. Well, I've got a Goldrat recirculating sluice that I use. I use a AT-Max. Well, okay, I use all of them, right? No doubt about that. So I've got in the car at the moment, I've got a AT-Max, XP Deus, ATX, and that's it at the moment. So I am really getting into the XP Deus at the moment. I just love how complicated it is, and it's, you know, it can be very easy to use, but then you can really get into it, and yeah. Right, what else have we got? Clean nuggets. John's here from the USA. Nice to see you, Johnny. We've got a lot of internationals here tonight, so phenomenal to have you on board. So, 3 minutes you've got left to share this. Even, was it John in the US? John, you can go in the draw too. Share this post and we'll send out a gold pen kit tomorrow for you. So, yes, so open to all of our international people as well as the Australians. Of course, we get a lot of Australians on here, so we so far we haven't sent one overseas, which yeah. So yes, so share this post. You've got 3 minutes, 2 minutes now. I'm just warming up the randomizer on this screen over here. Yes, so right. Right, panning in rivers that run through farm properties, what's her rights? Okay, so this is another question I had last week about Queen's Chain Law, okay? I actually have a mate of mine who's he's a bit of a, you'd say he's a bit of a legal expert, right? So Queen's Chain Law. So legally, you're allowed to go up the creek lines, okay? But you will get prosecuted for trespassing if you don't leave when asked to. That was his sort of take on it. So if a farmer asks you to leave, you have to leave because it's considered trespassing. The right thing to do is go and knock on the door and ask permission. That's by far and away the right thing to do. There is a bit of a common sense thing, and if you do the right thing, you know, it'll be yes. So my suggestion is go and knock on the door and do the right thing. But Queen's Change Law is very, very complicated. It's very, very hard to do anything with. Yeah, so anyway, that's Queen's Change Law. I didn't really want to get into Queen's Change Law because it's so complicated, and I don't want people saying, Ben said that I could go up the creek. But you just got to be a bit careful with it and use a bit of common sense. So, right, 8:30. 8:30 here anyway. I don't know what time it is around the world. But, so randomizer time. Let me just refresh this page. Where are we here? Okay, so randomizer, Karen from Seymour. Karen from Seymour is our winner tonight. She wins the gold pan kit. So congratulations, Karen. I will send you a message straight after the show, get your details. We'll get that out to you tomorrow. And yes, we can go from there. So congratulations, Karen. Thanks for the share. So, right, is there anything else here that we've got to cover? Yes, there's nothing else here. So, what we might do, guys, is we might call it a night. So, thanks very much, everyone. Don't forget, if you're looking for those gold locations and you want a bit of help researching the area, just message the Facebook page. I might not respond that day. Might take me, depending on how many requests I get, it might take me a day or two to get through them. Yeah, see, Neil brings a Neil. I think that scares me a little bit more than Queen's Change Law. Getting in trouble with your yes, no, that doesn't sound like much fun. So, right, okay. So, good night, everyone, and we'll see you next week, where we're going to have another giveaway, and we're going to have a talk about Lassiter next week. So that should be a little interesting episode. Okay, folks, thanks very much.